I know that right now there is something that you should be doing, but instead you are postponing it and you're just telling yourself that I'm going to do it later and I'm going to do it later after this and after that. And I don't know, I was just thinking about procrastination a lot lately, and basically it comes down to the fact that we keep postponing to make that change, that necessary change that we need to do in order to have better results in different areas in our life. And why do we actually do it? Why are we self-sabotaging ourselves if we know how great it's going to be once we engage with that task that we don't want to engage right now? And it all comes down to it's very simple. It all comes down to fear of failure. We just fear that we are going to fail, and it's better for us to live with the feeling of not even trying rather than trying and falling on our face, and feel fear of being judged and fear of being embarrassed. And the funny thing is that we all go through those feelings, but instead of them being normalized, they have made us feel guilty for having those very human feelings. And that is the main reason we don't even engage and we don't even go after the things that we want to do. And even the idea of it overwhelms us, and we keep postponing it for whenever. And the only way to change this way of thinking and actually go after what we want to do and actually stop procrastinating is self-forgiveness. I think we haven't been taught from an early age self-forgiveness. And that means that before even engaging with a task, before even going after something, actually knowing and believing, not only saying it, actually believing it, that it's okay to fail. And you don't have to succeed in everything you put your mind into. You can start something, try it, and fail. And it's really important to remember that results don't come from the first try. Sometimes we need to try more than even 10 times to get it right. Learning, failing, trying again, learning, repeating it until we get it right is part of the process, part of the journey of learning. And that is why many times we fear starting something, because we know we are not good at it. It's way more easier to start something when you know that you're good at it and you know that the only result is success because you are confident in it. But when we don't know the things that we are trying to engage with, and it's completely strange, completely new for us, we don't give ourselves room to fail. We don't give ourselves the room to truly engage with the task without thinking about the result, just being present in the process of learning. And actually that is how you build confidence to yourself, by knowing, by starting something that you know that you're not good at it, and over time and by practice, with practice you get better and better, and at the end of the day you're like, I did it. And that builds the mindset that even before engaging with something new in your life, you will know that I may not be good at first, but I know and I have confidence in myself, but that by the end of however time I need to learn this, I'm going to be great. I'm going to succeed because I have done this before. I have engaged with things that I didn't know at first. And at the end, I proved myself that I can do it. So just having that belief system in you and practicing it is actually going to make it so much easier to, and less daunting, if that is the word, to engage with any new thing in life, no matter how scary they seem at first. And don't get me wrong, I totally understand how uncomfortable it is getting out of your comfort zone, but no change brings no change. If we want some things to change, we actually need to go after the things that fear us a little bit, and we actually need to believe that we can do it, even if we don't, or even if you don't believe that, go after it anyway and just trust the process and what bad can come out of it. And you know what? Worst case scenario, you fail. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. We are not the first or the last people who are going to fail after going after something. And Many times we are so close to change, we are so close to actually seeing the result, but we give up right at that time when it gets a little bit too difficult. But that is the time, that is the moment that if you keep going a little bit further, that's where the change happens. And we just don't trust ourselves enough just to stick with the journey, and we give up right before seeing the actual results. Let's continue this video outside because the weather is amazing, which is a rare incident here in the UK, at least for this month. I hope the quality is good and the audio a little bit better. I switched to my new camera, which is the Osmo Pocket 3, and this is the first time using it, so hopefully it turns out well. So back to the video. Something that really helps me with tackling my task is making a to-do list from the day before, and that can look something very simple like go for a run, do my laundry, edit for an hour, and work out. I don't put a lot of things on my to-do list because I don't want to overwhelm myself when I see all the things that I have to do and stress myself. And once I finish the task that I already have in my to-do list, if I have more time, then I can go ahead and do more, spend more time in one task or add a new task as well. But it's very important, like for me, I have noticed that it really helps me when I work with a to-do list and I don't feel lost and confused of what I have to do, or maybe I have one thing to do and then I forget to do that, and then it's too late to start engage with that task. And just it gives you a sense of structure and that you know what you're doing and you know what to expect. And once you have your plan and everything organized, you just start like, okay, let's start with the top and start doing things, start making things happen. Once I complete those tasks, and if I have more time to spare, then I can add more tasks on my schedule. It's very important not to overwhelm your schedule and don't put a lot of things, because it's going to overwhelm you and it's going to make it harder for you to actually start engaging with the things that you have to do. Because, you know, when you see that you have so many things to do, that you're like, oh, where do I start from? Or like the time has passed, I don't have enough time to finish them. And if by the end of the day you don't finish all the things that you said that you would, you will start feeling like disappointed or yourself and being too hard on yourself. And we don't want to trigger those feelings. Something that also really helps me is changing my environment and choose a specific place to do specific tasks. And that is going to motivate you better to engage with those tasks. For example, when I want to edit, I know that I cannot edit in my room because I have too many distractions in my house. I have the TV, I'm going to be scrolling on my phone, I'm going to be going to the fridge for no reason. Like, I will find things to do if I had to avoid the things that I have to do. So when I want to edit, I just go to a coffee place, and especially here around, there are a lot of places that people go to study and to work. And when you go to that environment and you see everyone being focused, that actually motivates you and inspires you to lock in and for the next 2 hours be 100% productive. So that really helps. Or when I want to read my book, I enjoy reading my book in my bed because I like doing that before going to sleep, and that really calms me down. And I have struggled a lot with insomnia, so I need to do something relaxing before going to sleep because it's easier for me to go to bed, to fall asleep. Or for example, if I want to work out, I prefer going for runs and leaving the house, getting the sun in, and that actually motivates me more and keeps me on my toes. Also, something that has really made a huge difference on the amount of things I get done within the day is waking up earlier. Like, I used to sleep very late. I am a person who sleeps like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, and that means that I'm going to wake up the next morning at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. and that leaves only like a couple of hours before me getting ready to go to work. So at the end of the day, I had so many things that I had to squeeze into that 3-hour window, which was impossible. And then I was always feeling that I'm like running and stressing and I can't have like things done, and I don't spend time on myself because going to work
doesn't feel like spending much time on myself, if you know what I mean. And now I have started going to bed by 12 o'clock, 12:30. So I try to wake up around 8:15, 8:30. And by 11 o'clock, I have done my bed, I have done my workout, I have had my breakfast, I have gotten ready for work, like clothes, makeup, and everything. And by that time, by 11:30, I can like edit for an hour for YouTube, which is something that really fills me. I can watch some courses online. I can study the language that I've been like reading lately. I can do more things for myself as well. And I can actually dedicate time on the things that I want to do and the goals that I set for myself for this year. And I always start with the most difficult thing to do, or the task that I know that if I don't do it straight away, I will never do it through the day. And that for me is working out. If I don't do it first thing in the morning, I can just do it later. I won't get motivated to go out for a run or to set up my mat and do some workouts in my room, because I just have to do it first thing in the morning and get it over with. And I feel the most productive, and I actually enjoy it better when I do that first thing in the mornings. Getting into a routine and making some things part of your daily habit is going to take time, and it's going to take a lot of effort. And sometimes you're going to be able to show up and do the things that you have to do. And some other times you will be a little bit more lazy, or something will happen and you won't be able to commit to it. And that is okay. Like, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world if one day you miss a workout, or if one day you, don't finish the book that you said that you will finish by the end of the month, or if you don't do that thing that you were supposed to do. It's not the end of the day. It's okay. So be more forgiving and leave some room for mistakes, because that is going to take away all that pressure of being perfect. Because you don't have to be perfect, as long as you keep showing up. And if you don't show up today, you will show up tomorrow. And that is actually how you build habits and how you make them part of your life and are able to sustain them in the long term. An easy way to get on with your task and the thing that you keep postponing is to break that thing into smaller tasks. Sometimes we put too much on our plate, and just the idea of engaging with that overwhelms us, because it just feels like we have so many things to do and we don't know where to start with. And it's best to tackle the task right away than let it sit there and pile in the corner of your head. It's just like washing the dishes. It's better to just wash right away that plate or that cup that you just used, instead of like letting the dishes pile up and then you're faced with a mountain of dishes, and it gets even overwhelming to start doing your dishes. So I think that is something that has really helped me to actually engage with the task that I have to do right away, instead of letting them just sit around until I feel ready to do so, which never happens. Our present self likes instant gratification and not long-term payoff. We want to see the results, to feel the results right away, and doesn't have the patience to wait for that. And when we don't see the results right away, we feel like nothing is happening, but everything good takes time.